Good evening, and welcome to the Councilor-At-Large and Ward 4 Councilor Debate, or Speed Forum, here at the Robert L. Ford Elementary School. My name is Wendy Joseph, and I am one of the project coordinators of the Highlands Coalition. The Coalition works with our neighbors in the Highlands to empower ourselves while fighting for social justice. We work to improve our quality of life by building community gardens, curbing domestic violence, establishing anti-crime groups, increasing youth activities and jobs, and developing leadership within our own community. Now, this forum has a challenging format for the panel on stage. The candidates were given a number of possible questions I would ask 1 week ago in advance, and they will have but 1 minute to concisely answer. Now, why did we do this? There are pros and cons, but in the end, I want this audience to hear thoughtful, concise policies and not off-the-cuff remarks. Does this approach favor candidates with better speechwriting staffs and political machines? Initially, perhaps, but no amount of speechwriters and policy wonks can head off the fact, dear candidates, that this is a conversation between you and each individual voter here. Tonight, it is you yourself up here on this stage. It is you that has to connect with the audience here in front of you. In addition, tonight, you're speaking to potential voters, students of all ages, who are eager to be part of the democratic process one day. I hope you recognize this as an opportunity to introduce yourself to new voters. The agenda is as follows. There will be 1 minute for introductions, followed by a question and answer period. Your replies will be given in 1 minute. I hope you have taken full advantage of the week to study those questions. Your timers are in the front row with a yellow card for 30 seconds remaining and a red card when your time is done. You will then each have 1 minute for closing remarks. The order of the panel on stage is the order that they will appear on the ballot on November 8th. For example, Councilor Timothy Phelan is number 1 on the ballot, candidate Robert Clay Walsh is number 2, and so on. The first question will be answered by Mr. Phelan, and then be answered next by Mr. Walsh to the audience's right and on down the line. The second question will begin with candidate Walsh, the person with the second position on the ballot, and so on. The candidates will now be given 1 minute to introduce themselves. Let's begin with Councilor Phelan.
Thank you, and thank you the Highlands Coalition and the Ford School for having us this evening. My name is Tim Phelan. I'm a candidate for Councilor-At-Large in the city of Lynn. I'm a lifelong Lynn resident. My family has been in Lynn since the early 1800s. I have a son and a daughter, a wife. I am a practicing attorney. I have been a member of the Lynn School Committee. My wife is a teacher in the Lynn School System. My sister is a teacher in the Lynn School System. I'm dedicated to the city of Lynn. The reputation that I think that I have earned over time is that I'm not afraid to stand up and take a position that I believe in. I'm not afraid to say something, whether or not it offends somebody, and whether or not people agree or disagree with what I believe in. I'll never sit on the fence. You'll always know where I stand. And that's what I bring to this office, and that's what I pledge to you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Clay Walsh, and I'm running for Councilor-At-Large because I believe the city is in need of someone new who is determined to try to help make the city a better place. I was born in Lynn, Mass. I attended St. Mary's High in Lynn and went on to Endicott College in Beverly. After working in the dot-com industry and the restaurant industry, where I ran a restaurant and managed a staff of 25, I decided to work for Walsh's Oil Company, my father's small heating oil business here in Lynn. Not only do I understand the needs of small business and working with the public, but through delivering heating oil, I became familiar with working with the residents throughout the city and their needs and concerns. It is also important to note that as a youth, I worked for the family fishing business right here in Lynn Harbor. Working for the fishing business, Walsh's Deep Sea Fishing, I became familiar with how our harbor and waterfront work. With the city focused on its master waterfront plan, I believe it is imperative that we have a city councilor that is familiar with the waterfront and can offer insight that the City Council may need to address the ferry issue and any other issues concerning the Water Master Front Plan. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Steve Duffy. I also probably one of the more candidates at this table tonight that will have the most in common with each and every one of you in this room. I have a small electrical business that's been around for 4 generations. My grandfather started, and my dad, and I work it along with my sons. I hope tonight that I can come across to you as just the only difference between anybody sitting in the audience and Steve Duffy being a Lynn City Councilor is I put my name on the bumper sticker. There's no difference between any of us, and I'll hope to address that tonight. Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Buenas noches a todos. My name is Miguel Funes, and I'm from Honduras. I came to the city of Lynn in 1993. I moved in here with my wife and 2 kids. My kids went to school in Lynn. They are now in college. I'm running for Councilor-At-Large because I think that I do see the city changing. And those changings is because the city of Lynn is now growing with diverse groups. We have people from all over the world, and no matter how we see it, we are immigrants. Whether you were born here or came from out of state, we are all immigrants, and I'm here to help and work with you. And I hope that you can vote for me. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Hong Nhat. I was born in Cambodia and came alone to the United States and have lived with my foster family in Western Massachusetts. I went to Holyoke Catholic High School and graduated from the University of Massachusetts with a degree in political science. I'm married and have 2 small children who are in Lynn Public Schools. After college, I was asked to go back to Cambodia to work with nonprofit organizations and the UNDP, helping the Cambodian government on job creation, education, tourism, and I also, after coming back to the United States, I taught English and also immigration and citizenship classes in Lowell. I came to Lynn 14 years ago, and I work with South Coast Community Health Center, helping young children to stay away from drugs and substance abuses. Thank you.
I guess standing up is in vogue tonight. My name is Paul Crowley. I'm a sitting Councilor-At-Large. I've served 3 terms on the Lynn City Council. I started in 2005. I'm married with 1 daughter, 15 years old. She goes to St. Mary's High School. I've been married for 24 years. I have an accounting degree from Northeastern University. I'm currently the Executive Director of Greater Lynn Senior Services here in Lynn. I was born and raised in Lynn. In fact, I grew up on Green Street. My first girlfriend lived just a couple of streets over from here. So I have a deep connection to this part of the city. And I'd just like to say that what I like to think in terms of what I bring to the table as a city councilor is a deep commitment to the city and a strong background in accounting, finance, and management. And with those skills and my deep commitment to the city, I believe I can provide a level of experience and effort that will lead to better things in the city. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see so many people here tonight. I hope you all sit back and relax like I am. We're going to have a nice conversation about what's going on in the city of Lynn, and I hope to get some feedback from all of you. It's great to be here in the Highlands. It's great to be here in the Ford Elementary School. I remember playing basketball here when I was a young child at Brickett Elementary School, and I want to thank Dr. Crane and all the staff here and everyone from the Highlands Coalition for putting this together. It's so important that we have these forums. It's sad that this is our last. It's been a pleasure and an honor debating and campaigning amongst and side by side with all these candidates, all of which have worked tirelessly and really deeply care about the city of Lynn. But let's have a real great conversation tonight. I hope you listen to everything what we have to say and what candidates aren't saying. And I live in Lynn. I grew up here. I went to all the public school systems. I'm an attorney My wife and I live up off Western Ave. We just had our first child 7 weeks ago, so we're vested here in the city of Lynn. We look forward to many more years of great memories, and we hope to just be neighbors with everyone in this room. And just the last point, it's so important that all of you are here to be part of the process.
Thank you, Council.
And I look forward to more conversation.
Councilor Colucci, 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Rich Colucci. I'm too tired to stand up right now, but I want to thank the coalition for having us. I grew up in the Highlands here, right on Circuit Ave. I went to this school, and it's called Highland School. I lived in Lynn all my life. I married my wife, Carolina Tavares Colucci, a native of the Dominican Republic, for 22 years. I'm committed to the city of Lynn. I'm here because I want to be here. I bought a house on Ocean Street. I'm committed for the people that I serve, and I'll look forward to you. Anything you can ask me, I'll try to do for you, and you know that. All the people in the audience know that I'm the real thing. Thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you.
Good evening. Buenas noches. I would like to, first of all, say that I'm thankful for being here for the first time in the city of Lynn. I just want to begin by saying that I'm a very passionate person when it comes down to the community, and I've been working from Boston from Chelsea, and now I've been in Lynn for the past 29 years, and I've been involved in the community for the past 29 years. And right now, I'm looking forward to serve you as your city councilor. So I'm looking forward to work with you, and I hope that on November 8th, you give me an opportunity to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you. The first question will be answered in 1 minute. What do you believe to be the top issue facing the Highlands and Ward 4, and how do you propose to address the issue? Mr. Phelan.
I think one of the single most important issue facing Ward 4, the Highlands, and actually the entire city is crime, public safety. And to address that, what we need to do is put more police officers on the street. We have to increase the community policing, because what's important is a police officer to get to know a child at a young age when they're 10, 11, 12, so when they're in their formidable years, that they won't actually get into gangs and they won't commit crimes. To do that, we're going to need to increase the commercial tax base to increase tax revenue so we have the funding to do that. Thank you.
Mr. Walsh.
I believe the top issue for Ward 4 is the pride and the perception of Ward 4. Ward 4 spans from right up here in the Highlands all the way down to our waterfront, and I think it's important that as we move forward in the future to highlight the wonderful things and accentuate the wonderful things about Ward 4, including High Rock Tower, Lynn Shore Drive, and Red Rock itself, and all the wonderful concerts we have down there. One idea I've suggested is to light up High Rock Tower, no different than any skyscraper in Boston or the Lenny Zakin Bridge is lit up. This is something we could privately fund so that it wouldn't come out of the taxpayers' pockets, and I think it would give us a sense of pride. I also think it's very important to highlight the programs that are offered up here in the Highlands community. I think it's wonderful that we have a community school, that we have a garden right outside here, and the Highlands Coalition itself is doing great work in the community. All these things needed to be highlighted to make our perception a little bit more clearer about what's going on here in Ward 4.
Mr. Duffy.
Walking around Ward 4 the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have gotten a lot of input from a lot of the residents, and one of the most concerning things, I think, is the lack of the ability of the residents to feel like their community, can communicate with the politicians and City Hall. And it just seems like there's a huge gap in communication, and I guess that would be the number one thing. When you get down to City Hall, there's a lot of different, cultures in the room, and, you go to City Hall and there's nobody there that can understand what your needs are, communicate what you need to do, and how to go about helping you. And there are different languages being hired, Spanish-speaking clerks and some other different cultures are going to come in and work part-time in the lobby, so when you come in, we can direct you to different departments that you need to go to. And bridge the gap between you and City Hall and the politicians and us. So, thank you.
Mr. Funes.
Thank you. Two things that concern me in Ward 4. One is the unemployment issue, and also how people are losing their homes and nobody's there to back them up. Houses get closed down every day. Nobody steps forward to see how the banks can work with you. I have experience working with foreclosures. I worked for over 15 years doing mortgages and things like that. So one of the things is to make sure that people stay and get jobs, such as training them in new careers, and hopefully help those who are losing their jobs, especially the elderly who took those loans to help the grandkids to go to school. We need to work with those two issues. Thank you.
Mr. Nett.
Thank you. After attending several meetings at the Highlands Coalition, it appears that public safety is the issue right here, because we have so many foreclosures issues here, and these abandoned homes is breeding grounds for crimes. And however, Highland is still a role model because recently I know that Salem just came down here and asked for advice how to become a community involved in this Highland. And also I appreciate to see Police Officer Lieutenant Brown and his colleagues came here, and also this is the kind of information, this is the kind of involvement we need throughout the city to share information and we participate and let everybody know what's going on in our community. That's what I want to see. And come to safety, also, sorry. Okay.
Mr. Crowley.
Clearly, public safety is a huge concern in the city of Lynn. As many have already mentioned, crime is something that we really have to focus on. But what I'd like to point out is what I have done in the past about some of the issues facing Ward 4, the Highlands, and the city in general, and that is as it relates to the foreclosures. A few years ago, a lot of foreclosures took place, and as a proponent of dealing with the foreclosure issue, I met with the Housing Authority and the Ordinance Committee of the City of Lynn, and we fashioned an ordinance that basically made it a requirement that all foreclosed properties that were empty be registered with the City of Lynn. They have to pay a $350 annual fee along with provide us with information about who is managing their property, and it allows us to use those funds to make sure that properties that are in this area that are empty and wow, that was fast. You sure you gave me the whole minute?
Mr. Cahill.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think some people think that maybe the Highlands are a little bit different than Pine Hill or down the beach or Eastland or Westland, but you know, when you travel around this city, it seems that everyone has a common thread. Everyone's concerned about having safe neighborhoods, being able to get a good job, being able to have their kids go to a fine public institution to learn, to be educated. And we have to really start looking at those issues as a city instead of by neighborhood. If you were going to tell me or ask me what the top issue I think is for the Highlands, I'll tell you what I hear the most about from Mr. Gass and Wendy and Dr. Crane. It's the voting up here. But as far as affecting the entire neighborhood, those top three issues are what people are focused on. But with the voting aspect, I think we can have a nice conversation about how we expand voting citywide. I want to see the Temple open. I want to see Harrington back open, the McGee House, the Salvation Army. I think we can really sit down as a city and figure out a way to expand voting to all areas of the city by not making necessary cuts and making some actually investments in some of our polling places. So, David, I know you'd be happy with that answer.
Mr. Colucci?
Hi. I believe the main issue up in the Highlands is the foreclosures. You look at the federal government bailed out the banks for like $700 billion. There's supposed to be a trickle-down effect, and we're still getting foreclosed on. There's people, you know, getting thrown out of their homes, and it shouldn't be in America. I'm working with the Housing Authority right now. We have a program. We're trying to, you know, save people. ISD, we have a program now. We're getting people, the banks, we're getting the banks to make sure they clean the property up, fine them, And it's a travesty, but I think all together we can do it. And as far as crime, crime's an issue, but you cannot legislate morals. You know, you can't put a law and make people follow the law. It's up to individuals to do the right thing. That's what we have to work on. That's what I stand for. Thank you.
Mr. Rosa.
Yes, I've been hearing everything that I have in my platform here, and I think when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, I think when we talk about doing something for the city, and once we get elected, we should stick by it. And working together as a city council, I will bring close to 40 years of government experience. I'm going to give you a little bit background. As a former zoning board commissioner, housing commissioner, I have a large background in doing so. So therefore, I will bring a big experience in doing what you need to be done. I also want to say that in checking the city charter and the city ordinance need to be done some changes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. The next two questions will be answered with a yes or no only. There are some teens in Lynn who have received summer job opportunities multiple times, while others have received none. Would you vote to hire more youth in summer jobs through a lottery system? Yes or no? We will begin with Mr. Walsh. Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Duffy?
Absolutely.
Yes. Mr. Funes?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Nett?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Colucci?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Rosa?
I've been working on that since I started.
Yes or no? Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Thank you. The next question will also be answered with a yes or no. After voting ended at the Ford School, voter turnout in the Highlands area decreased dramatically. Would you sign a pledge to restore voting at the Ford School? Yes or no? Mr. Duffy?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Funes?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Nett?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Maybe.
Maybe. Mr. Cahill?
Depends.
Depends. Mr. Colucci?
Yes.
Mr. Rosa?
Definitely, yes.
Mr. Phelan?
If the school's compliant with the Americans
Yes
with
or no,
Disabilities
please?
Act,
Mr. Walsh?
depends.
Yes.
Thank you. The next question will be directed to the incumbents only and will be answered in 1 minute. Gentlemen, please cite an example of a measure you introduced to better our city. What challenges did this proposal face? Councilor Crowley.
I think I'll take this opportunity to finish the measure on the foreclosures. Basically, what we were able to do was to force the banks to keep their properties up, and if not, pay significant fines, as well as produce a pool of funds, which last time I checked was around $300,000, which we use to make sure that those properties are properly maintained, to diminish the impact of potential blight that they might create. I think that's a significant thing that you need to do in a city where foreclosure was at a significant level over the last couple of years, and it allows us to move through the foreclosure process without losing property value. Thank you.
Councilor Cahill.
I'm sure most of you want me to reference some of the things you've read recently about the parking department, but I'm actually less inclined to talk about that today. Actually, a small unknown measure that I worked on with a number of business owners and actually the Lynn Police Department on trying to reduce something as simple as people's alarms, like home alarms and commercial burglar alarms that kept on going off. Some businesses were using that, the Lynn Police, as their professional or personal security system by having their alarms go off over and over and over again multiple times a night. Police officers were going to the same residence over and over again, which is a dangerous thing because after you've gone to the same place 10 times, maybe the 10th time you think nothing's happened, but maybe somebody's in there, maybe somebody is burglarizing the place, and maybe they have a weapon. So we worked with the community, worked with the business community and the police department to work on a proposal that would reduce the amount of fire alarms or false fire alarms that went off in the city. And from what I understand from both the police and the alarm companies, they're pretty happy with it. I know it wasn't really a lot of fanfare, but I'm proud of it.
Thank you. Councilor Calucci.
I did a few things in the past. Most recently, the Text-a-Tip program in the Lynn Police Department. You can text the police, anonymous tip, and crime. The chief told me it's outstanding, the results that it's getting. Also, as a public property chairman, I sold $4 million worth of public property. Union Street, the infill housing, I started that back 15 years ago, and it spread through the city. There's too many to name. Thanks.
Councilor Phelan.
Thank you. This past year, the head of the Lynn Restaurant Association started making inquiries at City Hall, the Law Department, the Building Department, and the License Commission as to where he could locate a strip club in the city of Lynn. I aggressively took a stand against it. I, with the Law Department, wrote an ordinance that pretty much prohibits strip clubs coming in the city of Lynn. That went in front of the council, and with the support of all my colleagues, that passed. I think I caught a lot of heat for it from people in the Restaurant Association, but I think it's a wrong message to send our youth. It's the wrong message to send to the morals of that show the bad morals of our city. It's the wrong message to send to our community, our business community, and I think it's been successful. And if somebody wants to go to a strip club, they can go in some other city and not the city of Lynn.
Councilor Duffy.
Probably one of the simplest and most irritating things that the Highlands, as well as my neighborhood and everything else does, is we have a rodent issue. And I don't know how many are impacted. You are impacted here this evening. But I've worked with inspectional services over the last 2 weeks in order to change the way that they do business with the exterminator. Currently what happens is Thursdays, every Thursday from 1 to 4, there's a gentleman from the City Hall that goes around with an exterminator, and they spend approximately 3 hours going around to different areas. What we're proposing now with inspectional services is to put on 2 full-time exterminators that will work throughout the year, exterminating neighborhood by neighborhood by neighborhood to finally work on this issue. It's one nobody wants to talk about, but I apologize. It's something that's important to me as well as you.
Thank you. The final question will be directed to the challengers only and will be answered in 1 minute. Gentlemen, what is your top issue as a new candidate? Candidate Rosa.
My top issue will be to start working with the community in the following manner. Dealing with the citizen of Ward 4 so we could bring him back so they can trust our city council. Because as of now, we have 6,200 registered voters, and when it comes down to election, only few 100 of them vote. I believe that if all of us vote, it means that we have confidence in the city council. Thank you.
Candidate Walsh.
As your next Councilor at Large, I can assure you that one of my strong suits would be to help be a voice in the City Council and moving our waterfront forward. However, at this specific point in time, I really believe that the #1 issue the city faces is encouraging new businesses to come to Lynn so that we can provide jobs and create tax revenue. Without the tax revenue, we won't have the money to fund our police department and our schools, and I think that that's very important, something we all need to think about. So back to encouraging new businesses to come to Lynn, some of the creative solutions that I've suggested have been to create simplified guides for people to come to City Hall so that they don't find it cumbersome trying to start a new business. I also voiced that we need to continue our online permitting process and expand our features with our website. I've also suggested an idea of forming a cabinet between local business members, perhaps from the Lynn Area Chamber of Commerce, as well as our department heads, to form a cabinet which would discuss where the city's headed and what direction they can head in to move our city forward.
Thank you, Candidate Walsh.
And one of the last points
Please
was
sit.
I'd be open to freezing the commercial tax rate.
Candidate Funes.
One problem that we have in Lynn, and is very concerning, is the youth population. We talk about the police and hiring more police, but what are we doing to educate those who are young? We need to start at the bottom and educate them when they're young. And what we need to do is create jobs for them, keep them occupied. Many of these kids have a wonderful talent. They could be artists, they could be genius, but we need to help them. That way we'll reduce the crime as when they reach 17 and 18 years old. Okay? Not all these kids want to stay in school, but we need to prepare them as they are young.
Candidate Net.
My top issue is, I have already done through this campaign, is building a unified Lynn. I want to work to empower residents to clean up our neighborhoods, sharing information, and participate in our governing in our city. I want to help residents organize neighborhood coalitions such as this one and the Goldfish Pond Association, so that they can share information and take action. I want to bring Crime Watch to neighborhood. I want to bring Crime Watch to neighborhood and train police officers who are interested in getting trained, so that way we can build trust among our community. I gained experience while working at in Cambodia as a cabinet in Cambodia, so I was able to get people together and share information.
Thank you, Candidate Nat.
Thank you.
All the candidates will now give their closing remarks in reverse order in 1 minute. Mr. Rosa.
I just want to say to you that I'm here to ask you to give me your support, because I have a lot of things that I could do for the city. And through my campaign trail, I have talked to a lot of people. They have expressed to me all the concern, and I'm interested in working with them. So when it comes down November 8th, I would like for you, the one who are here, to tell your friend to give me an opportunity to serve them. Thank you very much.
Mr. Colucci.
Thanks for coming, folks. I now like your support. I've been here for a long time because of you folks. I've been here for such a long time. And together we can make a difference. We can work together. I appreciate your vote on November 8th, and I won't let you down. Thanks.
Mr. Cahill.
I, like everyone else here, we're sitting in these chairs talking to all these people on TV. It's because we really do care about the city of Lynn. We have different views on how we care about that city. Some people would say that we care more about the city than the residents. My argument is that the residents make the city. That's what the focus is on. And with me, my decision-making process, what I bring to the table, is after I have conversations with people like at this table, in this audience, at home watching this. We have a city that has some great bones, some great infrastructure, but we have a problem with people who have a misconception of the great things that we're doing. Sometimes we focus on the negatives. Sometimes we're our own worst nightmare, our own worst enemies. It's close to Halloween. And that being said, what we can do is we can just work together, make the city a great place. There's some young people here today that are saying to themselves, is this a place that I want to live when I come back from school, or when I come back, is there an opportunity for me to have a job here? The goal is to make sure that the young people do want to come here, that they do want to raise their families here, like many of us have for many years, or new people who came in from other parts of the world. So I enjoy doing the job. And
Mr. Crowley.
I'd just like to close by thanking Dr. Crane for hosting this event. I'd also like to thank the Highlands Coalition, the audience for being here and hearing what we have to say, and for all of the candidates here tonight for taking the time to come here and speak to you. In closing, I would like to say that I deeply care about this city. I think it shows in the work that I do on a daily basis and what I've done over the past 6 years. And I am also very capable in many respects with respect to finance and management, and think that the combination works very well in terms of making good decisions that affect everybody in this room and in the city in a positive way. And with that, I'd like to ask that you would consider me for one of your 4 votes on November 8th. Thank you.
Mr. Nett.
From listening to people and talking to them, I have seen Lynn Pride in action. Lynners represent the subcultures and experiences and talents in the city. I believe that our city will continue to make a huge stride if we all find ways to engage everyone in community building and shaping our government. Government serves best when the policy makers make the policy accurate to and make all understand to the public. My vision is that I want to make sure everyone engage in the process making, and I will continue to listen and learn from everyone to make Lynn a better place for all of us. And thank you very much, and I hope you have a nice evening. Thank you.
Mr. Funes.
Thank you. The city of Lynn is a growing city with diverse people. We need to elect officials in the city of Lynn that will work with the mayor and city elected officials. We need to elect people that can come and stay with you and listen to the problems and bring them back to City Hall and do something about it. I am that person. I have worked in the community. I have worked in different fields in the community with adolescents. I'm a psychologist, and that's my professional. My job is to listen. Come November 8th, I hope I can get one of your votes. Thank you.
Mr. Duffy.
One of the things that is always, 10 years on the school committee, I don't know how many of you remember, I'm sure most of you in the room, remember when Dr. Crane came up with the idea of K-8 for your school, okay? Anybody show of hands back there? She didn't give up. She didn't quit. She has no reverse. And people like Dr. Crane are the ones that I enjoy very much working with, because I have a vision for the city of Lynn. She has one. We don't always agree. But with the willpower of the people in this room, you guys are going to make the differences. It won't be us. And on November, I promise to do the best in the best interest of everybody, and I will not, side with any one group, and I will be open-minded, and thank you.
Mr. Walsh.
Anyone who knows me knows that I come from a blue-collar family. Growing up, nothing came easy. Therefore, I sympathize with the residents of Lynn and the struggle they face. However, Lynn is a great city, and I believe that we are on the verge of a changing tide. If you've seen me working with the Knights of Columbus, or Friends of Lynn Woods, or even in my own campaign, you know how hard I will work for something I truly believe in. I have a vision for Lynn, and that is to encourage new businesses to ensure the success of the waterfront, and I want so bad to help change the perception of our city. Please give me the opportunity to fight for these 3 things, and we can bring back business to Lynn, we can create jobs, and we can create tax revenue so we can fund our public safety and our schools. Please remember me as one of your 4 votes on November 8th. Thank you.
Mr. Phelan.
I'd like to thank the Highlands Coalition, Dr. Crane, and the Ford School for hearing me out this evening. I think I could take a lot of time if I wanted to and talk about what the City Council has accomplished and what I've accomplished over the years on the City Council. But I'm not about what's happened yesterday. I think what's most important is what's going to happen tomorrow, because that's what we have to focus on. We have to stop patting ourselves on the back, talking about the past, and look to the future. I know voting's a big issue up here, and it's unfortunate that the state has indicated the school's not compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. But the city was notified today that starting next year by the Justice Department that we are going to be providing Spanish ballots at every location throughout the city forevermore. I don't want you to vote for me because you know me or you know somebody in my family. I don't want you to vote for me because you like my bumper stickers or how I look. I want you to vote for me because you think I'm qualified and you think I care. Because if you don't think I'm qualified and you don't think I care, you shouldn't vote for me.
The United States Constitution gives you the privilege to vote, but the children, the families, and the people give you the responsibility.
Thank you. I would like to thank all the candidates for their participation this evening. The Highlands Coalition and the Robert L. Ford School truly appreciate having you here. And now, Stanley Wotring of the Highlands Coalition will make a short presentation.
I was going to give out these certificates last week with the Lynn School Committee debate, but things happened. And so I'm doing it today. Unfortunately, I don't have the bouquets of flowers that I had last week, but you know, that's the life. What I'm giving out is certificates for, well, first of all, let me tell you who I am. Okay, I have a little blog called the Lynn School Watch. Probably sometime next month, I'll hit over 60,000 hits since last July. And I'm giving out watch awards for people who I think have done an excellent job bringing recognition to the educational causes. And my first one, that's why that I'm giving out to a competitor who has quite a nice blog of her own, Cleo Hereford. My next one, I don't think I saw her here, but she might be. I don't see too well. The next award goes to Lisa Connolly. She'll get it in the mail. And the last one goes to Mary Ellen Palermo.
Thank you, Stanley. Thank you, gentlemen. I hope you take this opportunity to speak to some new people in the audience tonight and answer some additional questions. Don't forget to vote on November 8th. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.